Ever wonder why you keep starting projects and then leaving them half done? Most people call that lack of discipline. I'm not so sure. Part 1, the question. Maybe the problem isn't your follow through. Maybe the question itself is wrong. Because when you've heard the "you lack discipline" story often enough, you start to believe it. Every unfinished project becomes evidence against yourself. You tell yourself you're scattered and that other people have something that you don't. I felt this last week actually. I'd been going to the gym 3 times a week for 2 solid months. No exceptions and no room for negotiation. And then I missed a session. And instantly the voice kicked in. You've lost it. The momentum's gone. You've broken the streak. But instead of listening to it, I decided to just relax, trust myself. And when I went back, nothing was lost. I picked up exactly where I left off, maybe even stronger, because the real threat was never the missed session. It was the story I was telling myself about it. But if you quiet that voice for just a moment, something interesting happens. The pressure eases, the noise drops, and in that space, a different kind of flow becomes possible. Curiosity comes back, energy comes back, and suddenly the question shifts from "what's wrong with me" to "what if this is simply how my mind works?" Part 2, the hidden pattern. Some minds are built to explore. New ideas light us up. We dive in, we obsess for a while, and then the energy moves somewhere else again. The outside world calls that inconsistency, but internally it feels completely different. It feels like being pulled into something. Your hyperfocus kicks in and you go all in again, for a while. For a long time, I thought that meant something was broken in me. Then in 2016, I stumbled across Myers-Briggs. Turns out I'm an ENFP, or campaigner. Someone literally wired for curiosity, new campaigns, new beginnings. For the first time, the pattern I'd been fighting for years was described without judgment. That one moment gave me permission to stop fighting my nature. And when you stop fighting it, a strange thing happens. Those half-open projects start looking different. Less like failure, more like a library of experiments. For example, I spent 15 years as a designer. Then I walked away from it. For about 5 years, I barely touched it. And when I finally came back to design work last year, I expected to feel rusty and out of touch. Instead, I felt sharper than I ever had, like something had quietly been processing in the background the whole time I was away. The sabbaticals don't cost me anything. They add something to me. Each one a small expedition into something new. And almost all of them leave something behind. A skill, a lesson, a new connection in the brain. Part 3, the reframe. Turns out those half-finished projects were not wasted. They were quietly building something the whole time. Every new thing I started simply piled on new skills, new wisdom, new lessons, and something shifted. Instead of starting from zero every time, I was starting from a slightly higher level. Skills from one area would bleed into another. Design helped storytelling, storytelling helped communication, communication helped leadership. What looked like chaos was building an arsenal of abilities the whole time. Take cooking, for example. Over the years, I have learned Thai food, French cuisine, vegan Indonesian rice tables, Ayurvedic khichdi, cheesecake that would make a New Yorker cry. None of it planned. All of it kept flowing in and out of my life. And now I can walk into almost any kitchen with almost any ingredients and make something good. Because each obsession added a layer. Same with movement. Yoga, martial arts, dance, roller skating, weightlifting. Each one felt like failure every time I left it behind for something new. Together, though, they built a body that knows how to move in multiple ways and a mindful gym practice that is genuinely my own. With maturity and time, I ended up becoming multi-skilled and multi-talented, something I previously thought was meant for cooler people. People I used to watch and think, how did they get so good at so many things? Eventually, I realized the winding path is often exactly how they got there. Not through perfect focus and follow through, but through years of curious exploration. And here's the thing that has surprised me the most. My neuroplasticity seemed to be getting better with age, not worse. I learn things like a sponge now. I think all those experiments, combined with years of yoga, meditation, and play, trained my brain to stay flexible, to keep learning, to keep connecting the dots. Part 4, the permission slip. I realized that the shift happens when you stop fighting your nature. That's when curiosity becomes your superpower and you start curating a life of your own. For me, that shift started with a personality test, that Myers-Briggs moment in 2016. One small reframe, and suddenly I stopped trying to become someone else and started working with the mind that I actually have. That changed everything. Not because I suddenly had a plan, but because I stopped wasting energy fighting my own wiring. And when that energy freed up, curiosity took over. It pulled me into new ideas, new skills, new possibilities. What felt like chaos and failure all those years started to come together like a big life puzzle. Connections appeared between things that once felt completely unrelated. Projects that seemed abandoned suddenly became useful again instead of millions of failures. I suddenly had an extraordinarily full range of skills, talents, options, and viewpoints. A personal toolkit built slowly over time through delicious imperfection and through curiosity, self-care, and a little bit of awareness. You don't have to fix your scattered mind. You just have to start working with it. That's what we do here. This is the messy art of humaning, where people, ideas, and plans collide and ignite.